couple of rules of thumb. Men need women, they don't need you. Men are pursuing you to take something from you. They're not pursuing you to love you. They're not pursuing you because they like you. Those things come after they have the experiences they want to have with you. It's transactional, right? And believe the male nature. Believe what they show you. Believe what they tell you, right? With discernment, right? And release control. A lot of you cannot preserve your life force because you are trying to get blood out of a turnip. Men are not capable of giving women what we want, what we desire. Stop expecting it from them. You have to learn how to fill your own cup. You have to learn how to observe, accept, and respect the male nature. Right? That saves you a lot of headache and heartache. I don't expect anything from men except for who and what they show me that they are. And I move accordingly. See, you get to decide if you want to participate in whatever they got going on. You get to decide that. You don't get to tell them how they should be. Now, if they want to be with you and you require certain things, there's nothing wrong with that, right? We all should have boundaries and requirements and these things. But those boundaries and requirements a lot of times goes against the male nature, and it goes against, and it's controlling, right? Women have a control issue because we want what we want from who we want it from. And sometimes they're just not the person to give you what you need, what you want. And oftentimes men as a whole are not, not able to give you what you need and want. And this is coming from the perspective of someone who I don't have a lot of experience with men. This has nothing to do with me being burnt or anything like that. I'm not coming from that space. I'm coming from the space of studying nature, human nature, and accepting and respecting nature for what it is, right? And it is my job to protect and preserve me. So for instance, if a man tells me, right, and or shows me that my emotions, my feelings are not a priority to him, or he doesn't do well with them, like I don't do well with the emotions, and which is really code for don't act out, right? That's really what that is, right? Once a person tells me or shows me that, I know that that person is not a safe space for me to completely be open with. I don't try to force that person to be that safe space. He is not. So as far as he's concerned, I'm always good in that department, right? I'm always okay, because they don't get to pick and choose how I emote, right? So once you tell me that, then okay, then you don't get that side of me, right? If a man tells you, like, I love women, I'm never going to not deal with women, right? In roundabout ways of them always going to be open to women, believe that shit. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up in bullshit, because men will never cut women off. And because of that, women will have beef with each other because of what the situation and circumstances men put us in. Men put us in dangerous situations because men don't care. They don't understand the dynamics between women. They don't care. And it doesn't really affect them, right? Because it's an ego boost. You got women fighting over your time and, your attention in these things, right? I don't participate in any of it. And here's the thing, right? In nature, there must be sacrifice. Other women are here to be sacrificed. Other women are here to be semen receptacles. They're here to be slaves. They're here to be cooks. They're here to do these things. So it's not a requirement of me to fulfill those things with men. And I'm never going to fight with a woman to fulfill those things, right? No man is pursuing you because he loves you. He's not pursuing you because he likes you so much. He's pursuing you because he wants to have an experience with you. He wants what you possess, that intangible of the feminine energy. That is what they're coming for. They're coming to take. This is why when they see happy women, free women, which is usually equated to younger women, because younger women don't really have a lot of experience with men. Men do it to me because they see me, they want a piece of that because they think it belongs to them. Men think women were created for them. And so they're coming to take that. They're not coming to love me. No man has ever approached me to love me. They may have grown into it, decided to love me or decided to like me, but they came to fuck me. All of them. Anyone that pursued me. They didn't come to pour into me. They didn't come to take care of me. None of those things. All of that stuff comes afterwards. Not saying that men don't do these things. I'm saying that's not their initial reason for wanting access to you. Their initial reason is to fulfill their nature. They want to get their dick wet. That's why they're coming to you. Right? Just understanding these things and accepting them, it frees you up. Stop wanting to be the help. Stop wanting to be the therapist. Stop wanting to be the handler. Let men do what they do, and you decide if you want to participate. I'm not saying accept poor behaviors. I'm saying decide what you want to participate in. Hear me. Because you can participate in whatever arrangement you got going on with a man, and it don't be 100%, because none of it is 100%. Shit, we're not 100% to men. But a lot of you want 100% from the person, and they don't have it. They don't have it to give you. Listen to them, and then believe what they say. Believe what they show you. And then you decide if that's okay with you. Right? That's what men do. They learn to tolerate the shit they don't like about us, and then, they stay with us, and then they're with us for time. We've been together for so long, in community and family or whatever. It's all about how it benefits them. Has a man ever asked you if you like them, if you were attracted to them when they pursue you? No. I can guarantee most of you have never heard that in your life. You know why? Because they don't care. They don't care if they're attractive to us. Most men are not attractive, but they don't care. They want something from you. They're coming to take. They're coming to benefit. Understand that. Don't ever think men are just so, oh my God, I love her, I want to be with her. No. Your life is yours to preserve. Your life force is yours to preserve. It's not to be given to men to handle with care. It's not their job. It's your job to assess what's going on around you, assess the people around you, and put them in the categories they belong in. A man only got to tell me something one time, and it is what it is, and then I decide if I want to participate. So if a man tells me, like, he doesn't have it to pour into me, or he doesn't want something, or whatever it is, I peep, and I keep that in my handbag. Because I know when that comes up for me, that's not the person that I go to. Right? And if you decide that, you want to open yourself up to other men, then do that. I think the best form of protection and preservation for women is the rejection and restriction of men. That's what I think. Because they're coming to take from you. So that's the best thing for me. But if that's what you need to do, it has to be beneficial. You have to be fueled. Men really can't do that, but the little bit of shit they can do, allow it. Right? That's how they operate. What one woman won't do, another will. They could have a woman at home doing everything and still go out there and look for new and better. Men are always looking for new and better. You better fucking believe that shit. Yeah. Take care of yourselves. So I said romance is for poor men, right? And the poor men in the comments fighting for their lives, because it's true, right? All poor men have for you is dick and lyrics. Like Jamaicans say, lyrics, in other words, game. Because they're not actively building anything in life. They have nothing. All they have is dick, a bunch of kids, and a bunch of nothing going on, right? Men who have something to lose understand what I'm saying, right? They don't have time to be romancing. They out here building their life, their legacy. They're out here doing what's necessary to make a name for themselves. They don't have time to be romancing women, right? This is why poor men got a bunch of kids, because all they do is fuck. And then you have the women lying in the comments, yeah, girl, I was just saying this. All you bitches do is beg for romance. So stop lying. None of you was ever thinking that. All y'all do is beg men for money, dates, and emotions and vulnerability. All the shit that men who are building don't got no time for. Right? Y'all not about y'all bags either. Right? So one thing poor, undesirable, unattractive men are going to do is fight for their right to have access to women. And the thing is, y'all don't have to do that. There's a lot of women who want what you're offering. They want the romance. They want you to have nothing going on so you can pay all the attention to them. They want good dick. They want all of these things, right? So y'all don't have to fight for that. Women like me, who think like me, who operate like me, we're no threat to you, to what y'all got going on. It will always be poor people. It will always be men with nothing to do, nothing to offer but dick and romance and lyrics, right? There are very few men that will be at the top. What was that video that went viral on TikTok where the young lady asked the guy, what is his last name, right? What lineage he has? What's his legacy? And he walked away from her on a date. You know why? Because he couldn't answer the question. And that's most men. Most men have nothing that creates a name for themselves. That's why they need romance. Romance was created for poor men to get access to women, right? And if that's your story, then either you do better or you just shut the fuck up, because there's going to be women that want you. There's always women who want dick and a nothing ass man. They'll put you up. They'll do all kind of shit. So I'm not speaking to the poors, right? I'm speaking to logical minded beings, right? Those who understand what I'm saying. Men are out here building what they have to build for their lives. They don't have time to be pandering and catering to women. Only men who have time to do that are men who are not building anything. They have enough time in their 24 hours to run game on women and to seek pussy. Men who are building don't have time for that, right? It is what it is. It's been like that since the beginning of time, and it's going to get back to that with the restoration of natural order. All praises due to the Divine Mother. So, my ladies who have been following me for some time, do you remember when I used to talk about not dating, right? And just knowing whether I'm connected to a man, whether I am attracted to a man. I don't need to be courted. In my opinion, courting and dating is just a process for men to convince women to be with them. The feminine is blessed with intuition. We have an inner knowing, right? This is why it's so easy to dismiss a lot of what we just know, because it cannot be proven. The proof is it's later. Eventually you will see that what the woman was saying was true, right? And so that is our way of navigating through life. This knowing, the intuition, and the goal for those who want to break the feminine is to separate her from her knowing, right? You as a woman, as the feminine, you have things in you that tells you who's the strongest and the fittest. It's just nature. But patriarchy has has interrupted the process of natural selection because it needed to give the weakest a opportunity to get with women. And forewarning, those of you who are with men, you're going to start viewing them differently after you watch this video and after you consume my content, right? Because you're going to start tapping into parts of you that we were naturally gifted with to determine who should survive. Women are the prize, meaning men accomplish and do what they do for access to women, because through women their lineage can continue. It's not a legacy, right? Children are not a legacy. You leave a legacy for children. This is also going to upset men, as my content does for a lot of men. It upsets a lot of men because it causes them to reflect, right? To look at themselves and to hear and see that there are many reasons why they're not desirable, right? Money, that's a very small part of it, right? Because the thing is, if you strip all of the things men work for and you just look at the bare bones of men, you're taking your feminine knowing and looking at men. Most men are unattractive because most of them should not have even made it to this realm. A lot of what are the disqualifiers for men is genetic makeup, right? And when I talk about this, this offends men because, especially black men, they hear like the annihilation of race and, eugenics and things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about natural selection. Very few men that are walking the earth today should be walking the earth today. I'm not calling anything to happen to anyone. None of that. I'm just bringing your awareness, because when you start to ascend, you're going to start to see that less men are attractive. Just based on them alone, their biology, their genetics, who they are as people, they're not attractive. And when you are not attracted to them, when those men are unattractive, it lessens their chances to extend their lineage. Insert passport bros here. Insert the podcast fellas here, right? Again, strip away all of the things, right, that men can do and accomplish to be appealing to women. This is why criminals tend to be attractive to women, right? And I'm not saying that you should deal with criminals or, the menaces to society, right? Because men also hear that. Anytime I talk about this, I can tell who the weak seeds are because they think I'm talking about dealing with criminals, drug dealers and such. No. But the average man is a square. He's a corn. He's corny. He's goofy. Not because he's intelligent and educated. Like that's the route men go to, because they know they're weak. And a lot of them are compensating for being a weak seed by being accomplished in life. Being accomplished and having money doesn't make a man, because you can have all those things and still be a weak seed. Again, most of this is just genetics. It's nothing they can do about their genetic makeup. A few years ago, I asked women to, as they go throughout their day, to count how many attractive men that they see. And someone just told me the other day, since I gave that challenge, they cannot unsee how unattractive most men are. Again, it's not just physical. Physical helps a lot. I don't know why men think they don't have to be attractive, physically attractive. Why are you a fat man? Why do you have childbearing hips? Why are your knees bad? Right? That comes with age, but a lot of men are just out of shape, weak. Can you run? Right? What will happen if you have to fight for your life? Is somebody going to overpower you and beat you up because you ain't do a push-up in 15 years? Men are supposed to be strong, right? They talk about being protectors and providers. Their bodies show that they can't even protect themselves. But women intuitively know these things. And so when a woman eventually like dislikes a man that she's with, or no longer wants to be with him, or starts to want more, I believe it's because that man's genetic makeup was never what she thought it was to begin with. This is where the dating and courting and all that shit, they need you to do all of that so they can convince you to be with them. There are some men, and it's very, very few walking this earth, that you can just look at and say, that's good stock, right? Now, I'm not saying like we should breed people. I'm not saying any of that, right? But again, a lot of this is just genetic makeup. You can't, those men cannot be taught certain things. So they have to compensate, right? And there will be weak women who will breed with them, who will align with them. But I'm speaking to, again, as I say, a very specified niche of women. So the higher you ascend, the less men are attractive to you, because you are tapped into your femininity, not the shit that weak men created to make you be docile. No, you tap into your natural survivor feminine instinct, and you will start to see who's weak genetically, biologically, and who's strong. And it's very rare that you're going to cross paths with a man like that. Very rare. And this message is going to send the weak seed in a frenzy. They're going to go crazy. They're going to be in the comments going off, especially on YouTube, because those men are fighting for their lives, literally and figuratively, which men are supposed to be doing. But because weak seed genetically, biologically are getting access to the prize, which is women, their survival instincts are off. So when men say, we built the world, no, very few men built the world for most of you, for most men to survive in it. When we get back to natural selection, most men will not be chosen. And women. This doesn't eliminate women, but we're not talking about women now, right? Because ultimately, even weak women can still benefit, right? Now, the strongest and fittest men, if they were wise, they wouldn't share their superior seed with weak women planted in a weak womb. They won't, but men are still men, and a lot of men need weak women. Men keep certain women around because they're mindless and weak, and they feed a part of the male ego. I only feed the male ego who has a warranted ego. The weak seed, they're very uncomfortable around me. They don't like me. Men are my ops too. It's just women. It's the weak seed that hey, she's going to interfere with me extending my lineage. There are a lot of men on the internet. When I look at them, I can just look at their body, listen to how they talk, their tone, how they speak about women. They're weak seed. They're genetically weak. It's their biology. And it's not just the men talking down on women, it's the panderers too. Don't be fooled by them. That's that courting and dating bullshit that they want to appeal to the female ego. So this is really deep. You don't need all of that to recognize the superior masculine. Animals and so they don't do that. They don't date in court. They just know where the superior male is. We're humans. We intellectually beat them, right? So you mean to tell me we can't do that too? But they convinced you to not do that, because if you do that, most men will be rejected. And I'm telling you, I see this in real time. Just being out and about in the world, I can look at a man and tell that his mother and father were weak, or his mother or father allowed weak seed to mix with their DNA. Now, again, my standard, right, of men is unfair to most men. I'm speaking to the rare men, the rare men that are genetically superior. And I'm not just talking about white men, because that's what black men hear, you know. And that shows me where a lot of them are mentally. Because when I start talking about them, they think that I'm speaking down on them, because those are the genetically inferior fellas, right, that were allowed to be in this realm that shouldn't have been. You just know. You will just know. Just like it's rare to see a really attractive man or a really tall man, right? Look at men. People's bodies are out of shape just overall. But as a man who's supposed to be a protector, why is your body broken down? Why is your body overweight? Why are you consuming so much food and things that destroy your body? What do you think is going to happen with his seed? And you're allowing, even if you don't have children from him, you are allowing his DNA to mix with yours every time he inserts himself in you. This shit is really deep. And you can sift through who these men are without allowing them to woo you and trick you into being with them. But they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to look at them and say, nah, I can do that. Most men will be rejected. And then it'll be maybe one or two men, then it's like, that's good stock. And it's not just physical, it's intellectual. Like, a lot of shit is just genetics. Things you can't teach. Things that just are in you. And many men don't have it in them. They're not the strongest and the fittest. Right? As soon as you start tapping into that feminine instinct, that real femininity, you're going to start seeing a lot of men for who and what they are, which is weak. It's Venus Day. It's Friday, right? So let's talk about love a little bit. Not too much, because, you know, I can't put this stuff out freely, because humans don't know what to do with this kind of information. Y'all don't know what to do with information, period. But this is a bit too esoteric for you. So I'm going to keep it very surface level. You know why women like dating and courting? It puts us in that fantasy space where we're being catered to, we're being, you know, loved on, you know. It puts us center stage. Women love that, right? It's the closest thing to a fairy tale, to a fantasy we're going to get. That doesn't happen on a daily basis with men, right? And so women love it, and they will do it with multiple men, and because that feeling, that's the rush. It puts us close to fairy tale. It puts us close to that feeling of what women think love is, right? You know, women say things like they love hard, and, you know, they do these things for men, right? That signify love, that's not what y'all doing. But anyway, men don't want your love. Men want you to sacrifice, right? Men want you to give your all. They want you to be selfless. That's why when women talk about not being fulfilled in their relationships, wanting more, you know, men don't understand that. Because what more do you want? You are supposed to be giving me more. You're supposed to sacrifice for what we have overall, right? Because men don't understand the concept of love. Men are born, they have to learn how to love others. Women are here to learn how to love themselves. So they're going to go through life with that purview of what they think life should be, which is sacrifice. Men are born to sacrifice. They are to fight to live. We don't have to do that. Women are love. Love is not action. We do things because we may love people, with a lot of you are not doing that because you love people. You're doing it because you want to return, right? Two different things. To talk about love that's behind a paywall type of thing, right? But men don't want you to love them hard. Men want you to sacrifice everything for them. They want you to sacrifice your happiness, sacrifice your beauty, your youth, your body. That's what they want. That signifies love. That's why riders is so appealing to men, because women who ride for them are sacrificing for them. They don't want you to just exist and to just love them for them. Men don't want you to love them for them. They don't understand that. And so a lot of things that women do for men, it has to come from a place of sacrificing themselves for them. You wanting to love them hard and all that shit, they don't want that. They don't understand it. And they're not doing that for you. Men sacrifice for you. That's why they don't just want you to give up on their marriage and throw things away, because they've sacrificed so much. Men sacrifice, women love. This is why men say marriage is a business, right? Because business requires sacrifice. You're supposed to love the person you are with. But again, most people don't love each other. None of you really love each other. You just think you do, because of what you sacrifice for the other person, right? Women are here to learn to love themselves. And when you love yourself, you don't sacrifice for another. But see, this is why men and women can't. This is why relationships eventually wane and fade. This is why I say women, it's almost impossible for women to master themselves and be with men, because the more you master yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you ascend, the less you sacrifice for others. Again, love is not sacrifice. Love has nothing to do with sacrifice, but men are not loving you. Men are sacrificing for you. Men, we use the word love because they know that that's what you need to hear. That's what they need to project that onto you, so that you can do what they need you to do for them, to feel like you are riding for them. They want sacrifice. They don't want your love. They don't want you to love them hard. They want you to sacrifice yourself. And when a woman ascends, she does less of that, and she eventually doesn't do it at all. Right? And so when I say I do nothing for men, I do nothing. There's other women who sacrifice and slave. Women love doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't have to, because I love myself.